If we can get the maize from Malawi moving through to, say, Kigali, without having to be stopped on the way, that's how the farmer can have really a springboard for making sure that, yes, I can produce and I can market. So I can stop there, but I'm talking about market integration, importance of the market on the continent. I'm talking about how can we take advantage of the population within the continent and sell the products from within the continent to our people in the continent.
Okay, but you've posed a number of questions and indicated some things that need to be done. But I'd like to put you just a little bit on the spot. You also said that we need to understand and gauge the will of the states in terms of policy and so on. From where you sit, is there really a will?
The will is there.
Okay, so if we're saying the will is there, then there's obviously the question of the implementation. Is that happening?
The countries have many challenges. They have many issues to look at. This is why we are here looking at issues in a broad sense. But translating the will into action is the biggest problem.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Good answer, by the way. If I can then also, I noticed the minister from Rwanda was nodding her head on that particular point when it comes to translating the will into real workable action. The commissioner mentioned that the making it happen is a very significant challenge. How are you overcoming that challenge?
Is this on?
Yes, it's on.
We don't have that problem in Rwanda. We don't have a problem of implementing what we decide to implement. When we define what we want to do, we do it.
I hope everybody's taking notes.
Yes, but I will say it doesn't mean that there are no challenges. Even with that will, there are still challenges. There are challenges of ensuring that we integrate properly with everybody else. There are challenges of ensuring that specifically with the markets issue, that what was talked about in markets, the post-harvest issues, the whole marketing system, all these things have to go. Producing alone will not do it. So we've all been talking about the green revolution. We've all been talking about how we can increase produce, and we've done it. Malawi has done it, Rwanda has done it, Tanzania is getting there. So there's no rocket science about that. The really problems are coming at the stage where we all need to be working together. So yes, the will matters when it comes to us acting together as a group.
Well, share with us a little bit about the how. You're saying that for you, it hasn't necessarily been a problem coming up with ideas or thoughts on how to solve the solution, but the integration is a challenge. How have you solved the problems, and what are you doing to address the integration issue?
How have we solved the challenge with respect specifically to agriculture? We sat down and we decided that, look, hunger, as all of us know it here, is a shame to mankind. So we decided that's something we don't want to live with anymore. We put the resources in place. Then my president had the right people, sorry. No, I'm saying that because, no, I meant it as a joke, but seriously, you got to think about who is going to help you deliver what you're doing. I specifically noted what people were saying in the Seeds Forum. What knowledge is out there that we can tap into? How do we take it forward? How do we make it work for our people? These are some of the things that we just have to make broad moves sometimes and do. And one thing that I would like to bring out at this point is, when governments make these broad moves, are we, the communities that are supporting these things, do we jump on this kind of opportunity and support them? Because sometimes there's a lag between what is happening in some of our forums and what is actually happening in this real world situation that we live in. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but...
Well, I'd like to just follow up on that before I go to the others, because we do only have an hour, and I also want to try to go to the floor. You're saying, do people support the work that is doing, or the policy required in order to implement the changes? How are you then addressing that information issue? In other words, if you're looking at formulating specific policy in an agricultural context, yeah, very broadly speaking, what are you doing specifically to make sure that the people who are the farmers, your constituents, business, is actually aware of what it is that you're doing in order to support your work?
It's going to be very difficult to get any change going anywhere without a buy-in from your stakeholders. So we have a very big consultative process. We started the CADAP process, through which we actually learned that stakeholder involvement right from the farmer is extremely important. I mean, you take through stakeholder involvement means the farmer all through to your donors who are helping you mobilize these resources. So you need this kind of buy-in for you to be able to deliver some of these policies that you bring on the table. It also means involving as much as possible people who already have the knowledge systems that we need on our tables, involving the private sector. All these people have been engaged in our discussions, and it's what has made, first of all, our CADAP process successful. We are one among like a few countries that have already benefited from what's happening out there, that have a clear investment plan, that, you know, this whole thing is working for us because we've been very consultative and very transparent on how we are going about it.
Minister from Ghana, what are you doing in addressing the question of inclusion?
I guess I will align myself with Rwanda, my colleague from Rwanda, and what is happening there. The clear lesson is the inclusiveness of the society, and in coming up with any policy and the master plan to implement the policy, you need to have people buy into and own the plan that finally comes out. So in terms of the investment plan that we have come up with, hopefully as many of the African countries that have come up with the plans, there's been that consultative process which we have found very acceptable and working.
The minister from Rwanda indicated what their challenges are. What are some of the real challenges that you're facing and some of the solutions that you're looking at to address them?
They say where there's a will, there definitely is a way. Within countries, we do have challenges, and in between countries, in terms of regional development, we meet many more challenges. And I think when AU Commissioner spoke, she spoke more about the regional challenges that we have. That sometimes works against the domestic challenges that we need to overcome. Typical example, transport and communication between East Africa and West Africa simply doesn't exist, transport. So we can't trade among ourselves. I remember as far back as a couple of years ago, General Obasanjo wanted to import milk from Uganda to Nigeria. He did everything. It didn't work. Just this year, I tried to get some pigs from Uganda to beef up my pig industry here. The pig itself would have cost me $45. But by the time it landed here, it would cost me $545. Wow. So transport alone took $500 because there's no flight, there's no cargo flight operation between Ghana and Uganda. If you go by sea, it's forever. Those are the real challenges of intra-African trade when it comes to marketing what we have. Otherwise, we do have enough goods to trade among ourselves, agricultural goods that, we import from elsewhere that we could easily have imported from our own sister nations, but simply doesn't work because that network is not there.
Well, let's then stick on the point of East-West Africa. If I could come to the Deputy Secretary General. When we're looking at infrastructure, there's clearly a problem across the board, not just when you're talking about trade between East and West Africa. It's also a question of, how does the farmer get his products from his farm to the market in a way that is going to be efficient, cost-effective, without the goods being spoiled. So when you're looking at that kind of issue, how exactly are you addressing it? Because it's not a problem that is going away as yet. But clearly, people need to find solutions.
Thank you. First of all, for the benefit of the audience, I should start by explaining what is East African Community. It's an intergovernmental organization of 5 countries, namely the Republic of Rwanda, the Republic of Kenya, United